Week, our look at the biggest stories in news over the last 7 days. I'm Grace Bowden, reporter for Retail Week, and I'm joined by our features editor Gemma Goldfingal and our senior reporter Becky Waller-Davis. Today we are looking at updates from three titans of grocery. We've had updates from Marks and Spencer, Morrisons and Sainsbury's. We're going to have a little bit of a deep dive into the results and see what they tell us about Christmas, which is, as of right now, 47 days away and always a peak time for, well, all retailers really, but particularly grocery. So, who wants to kick off? Give me a little bit more detail on the results.
Yes, so obviously, as you said, Morrisons, Sainsbury's and M&S. It's been a mixed bag, I would say. I'll start with M&S. Let's start with the worst first. So food, which has traditionally been what's propped up that business, is now the bleakest part of the business. I think like-for-likes were down 2.9, I want to say.
Yeah, that's
right?
familiar.
Good. So yeah, they're having real problems, M&S, at the minute.
Rough.
Yes.
So they've obviously got a plan. They're trying to reposition the business. It's been very promotional and had lots of confusing multi-buy deals, and has kind of lost its edge on product innovation development.
It's a really tricky time for M&S and food actually, because like you said, it has carried the business for so long. They're stripping out the multi-buys, they're stripping out the promotions, and they're trying to do kind of the everyday right price thing. And on the product innovation side, it's really tricky because for so long M&S has just led that market.
Yeah.
It's been incredible. Now people can copy that so quickly that it loses its edge.
Well, actually, so funny enough, Brian Roberts wrote us a very interesting column you should check out this week. And he said just that. He said he was speaking to a buyer from an unnamed supermarket, and they said basically all they do is see what M&S is doing and mercilessly rip off what they can. Wow. But until now, it's lost its edge. So that kind of what's M&S doing, we need to do it now, isn't there as much as it has been.
Potentially, I guess it's not leading the market as much, and so perhaps we'll see a kind of slowdown on the innovation front.
Although you did come back from your meeting with some excellent beef Wellington
I did,
crisps.
yeah. So
I've
I've just been viewing M&S's Christmas ad, which is under embargo until next week. But on the product innovation front, I think truffle mayonnaise certainly got still plenty there.
I'm hungry now. Let's move on. Am I right in thinking that Sainsbury's similarly didn't have an absolute corker?
Yeah, I think grocery sales were up 1.2. Grocery like-for-likes were up 1.2. So, all right.
Yeah.
It's nothing to shout home about. I think they mentioned, and so did M&S actually, how competitive the grocery market is right now, and how promotional it is. It was solid, but nothing to shout home about. I'd say something that's also impacted M&S impacted Sainsbury's, which has been availability.
Interesting.
It's been really bad, actually.
So my
product availability.
Product availability. So my local Sainsbury's has been awful.
Same.
Mike Cooper has said that the problems are now fixed, and there was a bumpy patch, I think he said, during the summer. But he's
having a look at chicken thighs the last 4 times I've gone in.
No, same for avocados, just
but
nothing
this is the
there.
Stuff you tune in for.
But obviously M&S are having similar issues. We know that availability is going to be key this Christmas. So you want to walk away from your supermarket with a turkey in tow, I should say. So those are real issues that need to be fixed.
And then Morrisons, what a spectacular turnaround from not that long ago. I mean, granted it was only a Q3, but in terms of like-for-like certainly, and sales generally were leading the pack, weren't they?
Yeah, so I think it was up 5.6. However, that does mask, that's like-for-likes at 5.6. That does mask, like retail was only up 1.3. It's this burgeoning wholesale business that's really powering growth.
Okay, with McColl's and Safeway products.
Exactly. So as much as it's great that the core retail business is solid, but isn't quite as glittering as those numbers would suggest.
Do you think, Gemma, that availability could have the availability, especially that actually Sainsbury's suffered this summer? Do you think that could have put people off even shopping there this Christmas?
I absolutely do. As I say, on a personal level, my local Sainsbury's has really suffered. So it's making me, rather than walk to the shops, jump in the car and go to the nearest Tesco instead, because I want to come away with that.
The stuff you went there for.
Yeah.
It's one time of year when you absolutely can't miss off a single thing on the shopping list. It's
Christmas.
So as much as Mike Coop says it's been fixed, if you've the past 6 weeks you've been to Sainsbury's and you've come without your chicken thighs.
Again and again. I can't make my stir fries.
Then, you know, perhaps you think, well, I'm buying my big Christmas shop for the family. I'm not sure I should go at the same time.
Yeah, and you don't want the risk because it's such a stressful time of year anyway, right? Kind of coming away with that huge trolley laden with stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing a second shop elsewhere to pick up what you've missed off.
Yeah.
So circling back on what we were talking about with M&S just now in terms of the level of product innovation and being able to copy them and perhaps them potentially losing their edge there a little bit. Christmas, in my mind, is the one time of year where you trade up, right? So if you would normally shop at a discounter, you go up to a Sainsbury's. If you'd normally shop at Sainsbury's, you might go for a Waitrose. If you shop at a Waitrose, you might go up to an M&S. Do we think that that's a trend that's going to continue this year?
So I think it was really interesting that Marks and Spencer made reference to the March of the Discounters in their statement and their results, and I think that is quite dramatic. So we're used to Tesco, we're used to Morrisons and Asda talk about this, but M&S, real like premium products, talking about the threat of the discounters.
Having their lunch eaten too.
Yeah. And it's true, like they've upped their game when it comes to products, and especially around Christmas, you know, the more deluxe, I think it is, Lidl's and luxury ranges they do are pretty good, to be fair. So as much as it might be, you know, traditionally you trade up, if you have got faith that those discounters are going to offer you some great quality products, why pay more? Get your, you know, 3-bird roast from Aldi or Lidl instead.
If you're paying your own equivalent of more, so you are paying more than you normally would, you're just paying it within the supermarket you usually go to, rather than paying more in a new environment.
That's very true.
There's that diversification of ranging, isn't there, where it's like you can get the cheapest chip shops, and there's nothing wrong with that, or within the same supermarket or discounter, you can go for a much more premium offer without actually needing to remotely change where you do your weekly shop.
Yeah, and the convenience that offers as well is just, it's unrivaled, I guess.
I think it's interesting because people generally do splash out at Christmas, don't they? Mike Cooper did make reference to it being consumer spending outlook being uncertain, whether that does pan out and people do kind of, you know, tighten their belts this Christmas, where usually they do think, you know, it's the one time of year I'm going to splurge. It'd be interesting to see.
And it's worrying as well because there was the BRC results earlier this week for October, and food, which is usually the bright spark, it still was pretty much the bright spark, but it was a significantly dimmer than it has been. It sort of has buoyed the whole thing up in the summer, and it definitely didn't. And it's sort of, this is when things should be starting to ramp up.
I think that's really interesting, actually, because I remember speaking to a chief executive, I think last year, when again it's been 2017 was not a particularly wonderful year, but I remember him saying
he would beg for 2017 again, though, based on how 2018 is going. Anyway,
that's true. But he was saying, well, actually, you know, we've all had a tough year, and Christmas is the one time of year where you treat yourself, and that came true. It was just this kind of, it was this real need, I think, I mean, everybody to just relax and indulge and treat themselves after what had been quite a harsh year politically and economically. With Brexit on the horizon, I don't know if people are going to feel as comfortable doing that, but it's so difficult to tell. It's so difficult to tell what the consumer's going to do.
I think Global Data put out their kind of Christmas predictions today, and I think they called it modest cheer. So
oh wow, that's
I
really
think growth, but very kind of like you know, subdued. It's not. They were painting it. They were predicting a not so vintage Christmas.
Modest cheer.
Modest cheer.
You can't put a turkey in your fridge if you're stockpiling. So if I was going to put you on the spot and you were going to say, with this environment of modest cheer and sales of grocery being a little bit more subdued and perhaps us not having that gangbuster Christmas all right on the night as we usually do, in that environment, who do you think's set to be a winner? Someone's got to win.
So this is going to be quite boring, but I think the discounters will do very well again. Aldi probably in particular. I think Tesco should do all right. They've turned things around. We've talked about availability being an issue for Sainsbury's and M&S. Not so much for Tesco. Oh, Morrisons actually, but I think Tesco should have a decent Christmas. That's where I'm betting.
Well, I would broadly, again, slightly boringly, agree with you. Obviously, I think the discounters will do really well with those kind of special Christmas purchases of kind of cured meats or smoked salmon or whatever that they do so well. But yeah, I think, again, Tesco and actually especially Morrisons, I think will do very well. I think that, you know, M&S and Waitrose, perhaps people will trade up, but not in such great numbers. I think Sainsbury's availability has been so poor it will put people off.
Do you know what? I'm going to put in something, though. what could help Sainsbury's is the Argos side of the business.
That's very true. That's
So, you
very
know,
true.
Popping to get your Christmas present.
Exactly. So I think propping up sales is the time where you know it's Argos is such a Christmas destination. They've got how many Argoses in stores, but also all those collection points. So you might go there to pick up your Lego set and think, you know what, I'm gonna do my shop at the same time.
Yeah, saving time.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we've mentioned pretty much every grocer there, to be fair.
Look, they're all going to do fine. It's been very incisive commentary. Thank you very much for your thoughts, guys. Looking ahead to next week, we have got Christmas adverts from John Lewis and M&S, and no doubt some updates as well, which I haven't managed to scribble down in my own moleskin before rushing into film. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you, tune again next week.